Hello YouTube, CivilianSnowman here, and today I've got another DVD and Blu Ray update for you. Now I'm going to start with the DVDs, okay? So a lot of these were actually I think almost all of these were really cheap. Basically what happened was I had Sam the Lucha Media Geek and Liam DVD Weasel both come over and stay for a few days. So we sat around, you know, shot the shit and went out, bought some DVDs and shit in Preston, went shopping and whatnot. Now we didn't film anything together because, to be honest, none of us wanted to. You know, we were all a bit just like, you know, let's just hang out and have fun and leave the cameras off. But that was really fun to have the three of us together. Three YouTubers hanging out, it was awesome. But yeah, here's what I bought. Okay, so first of all, there is Happiness, the Todd Solondz movie. Now, this was recommended to me by both DVD Weasel and the Lucha Media Geek. I've tried to watch it with the Lucha Media Geek once before and couldn't get through it because I was distracted and whatnot, but I actually sat and watched it when it arrived, and it's good. It's really good. It's not revolutionary, it hasn't reinvented the wheel, but it's has to be probably the most awkward film I've ever seen. I don't want to ruin those awkward moments for you, but if you haven't seen Happiness, I recommend checking it out because it's dead cheap on DVD and it's unlike anything you've seen before. There's some very explicit sexual conversations in this as well, which I honestly was surprised we could get away with on film. But yeah, that's Happiness. Then there's one that I really need to know introduction. It's the Blair Witch Project. This seems to divide people. People either love the Blair Witch or loathe the Blair Witch. I love the Blair Witch. I honestly think it's a thinking man's horror movie. I loved it. I think it's scary. I think it's very effective, and that really did reinvent the wheel. So yeah, the Blair Witch Project. Next I picked up The Cooler, which is a film by Wayne Kramer. He went on to do Running Scared. Now, as some of you may know, Running Scared actually I was quite impressed with. Really enjoyed Running Scared for what it was. Thought I'd check out The Cooler because it was £5 and I was interested to see what else Wayne Kramer has done, so that's The Cooler. Then there's Hard Boiled, the collector's edition. Believe it or not, I've never watched Hard Boiled because I've had the DVD for ages, but it's such a shit copy that well, it's not a copy, it's a legitimately bought DVD, but it's such a shit picture quality that I couldn't sit through it, so I thought I'll buy the collector's edition because it's remastered and give it a watch. So that's Hard Boiled. Next there's a film by Wong Kar-wai, recommended to me by DVD Weasel. I actually bought it while I was out with him, and that is In the Mood for Love. Apparently, according to a lot of film critics, one of the best of the decade, so yeah, I'm looking forward to giving that a watch. Basically, a love story about a man and a woman who, with their respective partners, move in next door to each other and fall in love. I'm very much looking forward to seeing that, so that's In the Mood for Love. I also picked up a classic comedy, which I actually thought could be overrated, but I really enjoyed it. If I just put the hype to the back of my mind, I really enjoyed this film. And it's one that I can really relate to as well, based on where I work, and that is Office Space. Now, I'm not going to say too much about it because I imagine most people have already seen it, but Office Space I think is an absolutely brilliant comedy, and for anybody such as myself who's ever worked in an office, I think it will resonate with you guys a lot. So yeah, that's Office Space. Now, the next three films are thematically linked, and yeah, it's surprising that I enjoyed them as much as I did. The first of which was recommended to me by DVD Weasel, and that is Mysterious Skin, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, which is about two guys about my age, I think 19, 20, who were abused as children, and it's basically about how it affected them. It's really kind of difficult to watch at times, but it's brilliant. When I was initially sitting down to watch it with DVD Weasel and the Lucha Media Geek, I thought maybe it's just going to be controversial for the sake of being controversial, but it wasn't. It's a genuinely kind of heartwarming story, which just so happens to be brutal. And I fell in love with the characters, I have to say, and I absolutely loved it. It's probably it's in my top 20 favourite films. I cannot recommend Mysterious Skin enough, but what I will say is, go in with an open mind, because it is really explicit and it touches on the theme of paedophilia and child abuse and all the rest of it. But if you go in with an open mind, you'll be rewarded tenfold. It's an absolutely fantastic film. So that's Mysterious Skin. And that leads on to another DVD Weasel recommended, which is Little Children. Now, this is basically about the sex lives of 3 different people, one of whom is a convicted paedophile who moves into a neighbourhood, and it's about how, like, the neighbours react to his presence there. He's played by Jackie Earle Haley in an absolutely brilliant performance. It also stars Patrick Wilson, and they work together in Watchmen. But yeah, I was surprised at how much I liked this. It's almost like a film that Sam Mendes should have made. It reminds me in style and tone of American Beauty, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. The only niggle I do have with it is that Patrick Wilson and Kate Winslet kind of strike up a friendship in the movie, and obviously it's very clear from the cover that they end up having an affair. But I would have preferred the film, I think it would have been more interesting if their relationship had remained completely asexual, because I found their friendship to be more interesting than their affair. But that's just me, because I've seen it a million times before when, you know, they have an affair, but I thought it would have been interesting to see what would happen if they did just were friends, you know. But yeah, Little Children, an absolutely fantastic film, dead cheap on DVD, and thoroughly recommend it. And that brings me on to the final film, which is also about a paedophile, starring Kevin Bacon, and that is The Woodsman. Now, this film is basically about a guy who's just served 12 years for child abuse, gets out, gets a job, and basically is trying to hide his past. And I have to say, Kevin Bacon's performance in this movie is fantastic. He pours himself into the character, he becomes that character, it's incredible. The film is about 80 minutes long, and it's weird, it's missing acts and scenes, it's odd. Like, it finishes and credits roll, and I thought to myself, where's the rest of it? You know, but yeah, it's a good film. It only cost £5, so I didn't feel shortchanged. I would recommend it. It's just weird that it's so short, and it feels like there are big chunks missing out of it, and especially from the background characters, they feel incredibly underwritten. But yeah, good film, worth checking out for £5. I recommend it. That's The Woodsman. The final DVD set I got is a TV box set, and that is Dexter Season 3, a consistently brilliant show that just seems to get better with every season. Season 4's just started on TV over here, starring John Lithgow. That's fantastic up to now. Season 3 I really enjoyed. It always does that thing where you think you know where it's going to go, and then they just kind of flip it on its head and go the other way with it. Yeah, Season 3 I picked up for, like, I think 22 quid in Asda. Good value for money. I love Dexter, it's one of my favourite shows. I really like the books, although they do fluctuate in quality. The show, though, as I said, just seems to get better and better. Michael C. Hall remains fantastic in it. And yeah, interesting little side note, for me, he's my choice. If they ever do the Riddler in one of the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, he's my first choice for the Riddler, Michael C. Hall. I think he'd be brilliant at it. Even fucking looks like the Riddler, to me at least. So yeah, that's Dexter Season 3. So now onto the Blu-rays that I bought, the first of which is Psycho, the 50th Anniversary Edition Steelbook, as you can see here. Psycho is one of my favourite films. It's in my top 10 of all time. I love it. It's influenced me so much in the way that I write and how I've directed short films in the past. I absolutely love Psycho. It's so influential on cinema in general. Obviously, we all know the plot. The transfer of the Blu-ray is fantastic. You see detail that you didn't know was there before. You know, it's about as good as the movie is ever going to look. It's chock full of special features as well. As you can see here, there's a list of the special features on the disc. I won't go through them now because obviously that information is available elsewhere. That's what the disc looks like. You even get a booklet. When's the last time you saw a booklet in a Blu-ray release? Nice and refreshing little touch there, as you can see. So yeah, Psycho, I really don't need to say much about. Absolutely love it and recommend the Blu-ray. It's brilliant. And next I got, while I was out shopping with DVD Weasel and the Lucha Media Geek, I picked up Brick, a movie that I reviewed fucking ages ago back on my channel. Yeah, a movie that I absolutely love, and it's one that grows on me more and more. It's basically a film noir starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt, set in an American high school, a murder mystery with drugs and intrigue and everything, and the way the characters speak is in that old-fashioned film noir style. It's very, very unique. I also ordered a couple of Stanley Kubrick movies on Blu-ray. The first of which is 2001, A Space Odyssey. Now, the picture quality on this Blu-ray is absolutely jaw-dropping. It's like seeing the movie for the first time again. I must admit, I was surprised by how good the transfer was. So yeah, that's 2001. A Clockwork Orange, on the other hand, the picture quality is better than the DVD, but it's not leaps and bounds ahead of the DVD. So I'd say that if you're toying with the idea of upgrading to Blu-ray for A Clockwork Orange, I wouldn't bother, because the DVD is good, you know, it's good enough. This improvement isn't good enough to justify buying the Blu-ray. However, I love the movie, it's one of my favourites, so I didn't mind upgrading. But yeah, don't really need to say much about the film because it's absolutely amazing, and if you haven't seen it, go and see it. Interesting side note, the Duke's Cinema near where I live is actually playing A Clockwork Orange on the big screen in a couple of weeks' time, along with Brazil, RoboCop and Metropolis, Planet of the Apes as well, the original. So I'm going to be really busy going to see all those classic movies on the big screen, because Planet of the Apes, Brazil, RoboCop and A Clockwork Orange are all in my top 20 films of all time, so I can't wait to see them on the big screen. That is a dream come true. So yeah, that's A Clockwork Orange. And finally, there's a film that Sam, the Lucha Media Geek, forced me practically at gunpoint to watch when me and my friend Danny were visiting him. It's a Clint Eastwood movie, Changeling. Now, it's a film that I've seen on the shelves for ages and I've just walked past, not even looked at, because I was not interested in the slightest in this movie. But Sam assured me it was good, he put it on. Now, it's basically about Angelina Jolie, whose son goes missing. A boy is then later returned to her and she says, "This isn't my son, what are you doing?" And the cops put the pressure on her to say, "Yes, this is your son, just accept it and nothing bad will happen to you." So it's an intriguing premise. However, halfway through the film, it becomes something completely different. The genre changes, the style changes, it gets really dark and weird and brutal, and it becomes an absolutely terrific film. It really does. I honestly can't recommend this enough. I've been recommending it to everybody. It literally, halfway through the film, it becomes something else and it takes a giant leap up in quality, in my opinion. So it's a very, very good film, and I thoroughly recommend it to anybody who, like me, just walked past it and didn't pay any attention. Go out and watch Changeling. It's good. It's really good. It's definitely a 4-star movie. So yeah, recommended. So thanks a lot for watching this DVD and Blu-ray update. Thank you to everybody who rates, comments, watches and subscribes and all that stuff. I don't know when the next one will be. It might be a while because I'm not planning on buying anything for a while, because I'm going on a very important, very cool trip that I will be filming for YouTube in a month's time. I'm not going to say any more than that because it's going to be a surprise, but yeah, you guys will dig it, I'm sure. So yeah, this is CivilianSnowman signing out. I'll see you later. Bye.